Hi everyone, Chris here, and we're talking today about storytelling as a component of instructional design. And I want to continue our talk on storytelling by covering the 6 elements of storytelling and talking about how they connect to the different elements inside of instructional design. So the first element of storytelling is the setting. And we, of course, have a setting as well. That's generally the performance context of the learners. Where are they going to be performing their work? Next element of storytelling are characters. And we certainly have characters. We know that our learners probably the main character in our story. We have the instructors, we have their managers, we have their customers and clients, we have their other coworkers, all of these people involved in our learner's story. The next element of storytelling is the plot. What's actually going on? And this ends up really connecting well to the learning strategy. If we're going to be using storytelling as an instructional element, what's the point? The next item that's an element of storytelling on my list is conflict. Now, conflict doesn't need to be like conflict. There are 4 basic conflicts that are part of classic storytelling, and they are man versus self, man versus man, man versus nature, and man versus society at large. And for instructional design, the conflict is typically the specific challenge that we're having our learner address. So the conflict will typically fall into one of those categories. But what exactly are our learners trying to address through their learning? What is the actual goal? Um, and that ties nicely with the theme, which is our 5th element of storytelling. What's the overarching theme? And this typically comes down to the learning objective or perhaps the specific take on the learning objectives. So these might be the specific learning outcomes we're looking for. And finally, the 6th element of storytelling is the narrative arc, which I think we've covered in the last couple of days regarding the entire hero's journey. It's literally the arc of the story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, where you introduce all of the characters, rise into the conflict, rise into the challenge, resolve that challenge, and then return to that new stated, that changed place. So that's all I have for today. And tomorrow I was going to continue with talking about some tips for how we can create an effective story inside of our instructional materials. So I will talk with you tomorrow.